Hello everybody and welcome back to the Birth by Sleep Final Mix playthrough. So, now that the prologue is complete, we get to select which character story we are going to experience. We have 3 characters, each will visit different places at different times. Each plays differently and each has a very different story and path to follow. We're going to go in the order that is generally expected for you to go in, which is Terra, Ventus, Aqua, but that's just right because of how you end up experiencing bits of the narrative. It makes more sense to begin with Terra and end with Aqua. But yes, here we are with the amazing Master Ericus.
Today you will be examined for the Mark of Mastery. Not one, but 2 of the Keyblades chosen stand here as candidates. But this is neither a competition nor a battle for supremacy. Not a test of wills, but a test of heart. Both of you may prevail, or neither. But I am sure our guest, Master Xehanort, did not travel all this way to see our youngest prospects in years fall short of the mark. I trust you are ready.
Yes.
Then let the examination begin.
Don't worry about me. You two focus on the exam.
But Ven, you're in danger here. Go wait in your room.
No way. I've been looking forward to this. Seeing you two become masters. I'm not gonna miss it now.
He can take care of himself. He's been out there training just as hard as us.
Yeah.
Stay sharp, Ven.
So, we get thrown in pretty immediately into battle for Terra's story, and it's going to be the same for, I believe, all of the stories. We begin with this same fight, and you do have to be a little bit careful with these balls of light, because while they aren't hugely threatening, they do fly about a lot, and particularly if you're playing the game on Proud Mode, which is what I would recommend because it means that you're going to get the secret ending a lot easier than if you play on normal mode. You can't even get it on easy mode, I don't think. It's still not the most difficult fight in the world. The one thing that you will realise very quickly is, particularly with Terra, he's that slow but powerful type attacker. So you do have to tackle battles in a notably different way to how you would have done previously in the franchise, which is frustrating. It does arguably make Terra's story the most difficult of the game. But one must
keep a still heart even in the most trying of circumstances. It was an excellent test, one I chose to let unfold. Which brings us to your next trial. Now, Terra and Aqua, the 2 of you will face each other in combat. Remember, there are no winners, only truths. For when equal powers clash, their nature is revealed. Begin! We have deliberated and reached a decision. Terra, Aqua, you both performed commendably. However, only Aqua has shown the mark of mastery. Terra, you failed to keep the darkness within you sufficiently in check. But there is always next time. That is all. Aqua, as our newest Keyblade Master, you are entitled to certain knowledge. Please wait here for further instruction.
Hey.
Terra, I'm sorry.
The darkness. Where did it come from?
What do you make of Ventus?
He ain't gonna cut it. Somebody's gotta break that loser in.
Not here, you won't. I have to keep up appearances.
I know that. He just needs a little incentive to leave home.
Sorry. But I need some time alone.
So yes, we do have a lot of cutscenes at the start of this story, but they will trickle out eventually.
I know I'm strong enough to hold it back.
Yes. You are indeed strong.
Although I don't know why Terra would trust the clearly evil Master Xehanort, but there you go.
Master Xehanort.
And yet, how frustrating that Ericus refutes its power. Why, you could train with him forever, and still, you'd never be a master in his eyes.
But why? Help me understand, Master Xehanort. What is it that I failed to learn?
You're fine as you are. Darkness cannot be destroyed. It can only be channeled.
Yes. Thank you, Master. What happened?
I don't know. Why isn't Ven here?
Very well, then. I will send my pupils to investigate. Yes, I understand. Farewell. That was my dear old friend Yen Sid. As you know, he is master no more, but he still keeps a close eye on the tides of light and darkness. His counsel serves as signposts on the road we wielders of the Keyblade must walk. All the more reason, then, for concern, for he tells me the princesses of Heart are in danger. Not only from the forces of darkness, as you may assume, but also from a new threat, one that feeds on negativity. Fledgling emotions that have taken monster form. Yen Sid calls them the Unversed. As wielders of the Keyblade, you are tasked with striking down any who would upset the balance of light and darkness. The Unversed are no exception. I tried to pass this news on to Master Xehanort, but my repeated attempts to reach him have failed. I doubt there is any connection, and yet this all troubles me.
Master Xehanort is gone?
So here we are. I need you two to get this situation under control. Eliminate the Unversed, and find Master Xehanort. I have unlocked the lanes between. You may use these forbidden pathways to travel between this world and countless others. The darkness looms closer than usual within these spaces, but your armor will protect you. Lastly, remember that order must be kept. You cannot tell anyone there are other worlds. Now go, and fulfill your duty.
Yes, Master.
Terra, consider this an opportunity. A second chance for you to change my mind.
What?
You must know, I care for you like my own son. If I could have my way, I would name you master in a second. But how can I, when you are so obsessed with power? Terra, you mustn't be afraid of losing. Fear leads to obsession with power, and obsession beckons the darkness. You must never forget.
Thank you, Master. I swear, I will not fail you again.
Terra!
It's okay.
And so, with that, we finally set off on our journey. Get a little bit of a description of D-Links there. Basically, they switch up your commands to be more in line with the person that you forged a D-Link with, and you can level them up by collecting stars, which will unlock extra abilities, which can be very helpful in battle. The other thing that we unlocked just there is the command board, which is an interesting one because it's basically Monopoly, or I suppose it's potentially more like Fortune Street, really, where you've got to get to a set number of GP and it's just going around a board, which is obviously not the most exciting of side things to be doing. And I perhaps wouldn't have done this were it not for the fact that it's actually really, really helpful in terms of unlocking special or more difficult to get commands, but also it's really good for levelling up commands quite easily. So it's you've got to play with it really to see how useful it is and whether you want to dedicate your time to doing this, because the other way of leveling up commands is just battling, but because each story is actually relatively short, when you're looking at, you know, grand scheme Japanese RPG, because most Japanese RPGs sit at around minimum of 17 hours all the way up to kind of your 50-60 hours, all the way up to your 100 hours, depending on exactly how far you want to go.
Nice.
And Birth by Sleep sits in about, depending on how much you play, 6 to 10 hours per story. So on the whole, it's about the same pseudo 20-30 hour experience that you would get out of Kingdom Hearts past and future.
Nice.
So, I mean, the reason that it is this way is because obviously it was originally intended to be on a portable console, and what that did is that it changed the way certain elements were done. So one of the things that you'll notice in this game is that worlds are a lot smaller than they were in the original Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2. There's generally less battles, you get less experience from enemies, but you level up quite a lot faster, and rather than needing to be around level 50-60 to beat the game, level 35 will pretty much do it for you. So, in that sense, the game is a lot quicker moving, a lot faster, and I think that is definitely something that helps it. And I know I'm saying much faster, as, you know, I kept getting stuck in that blooming losing GP circle, which is just like, oh, joy. Now, what I'm going to do with the command board is, in Terra's story, I'm going to show you every single command board, and every single game that I played, which was just one per command board, because otherwise it would just get too long and too tedious. The reason for that is because each board is different, each board has its own quirks, and I want you to experience that. And also I want you to see exactly how the game sort of is played generally for most people. When it then comes to Ventus's and Aqua's stories, I will be doing the command boards because, as I said, they're very helpful for getting commands and for levelling up commands, but I will have already sat through all of these twice for one story. You'll have sat through them once for one story. Nobody needs to see them again after that point because nothing really changes. And at that point, it's not really worth watching because you're not going to see anything brand new. What you can do is you can change the amount of GP that you need to get in order to win, which means that you are going to be in the board for longer, which means that you've got more of a chance of levelling up more commands, getting more commands, that sort of thing, but it depends how long you want to be here. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to do them either before a world or after a world, just to try and keep a balance going. But since, you know, we've got a nice bit of time where there's nothing brand new happening, other than, you know, Fortune Street, and me failing at the minute, but I'm gonna pull it back. It's probably a good time to go over a bit of voice actor trivia, because we got introduced to a lot of new characters and a lot of new voice actors to the series. So, voicing Terra, our guy who's lusting for power, our main character for this particular story in the game, he is voiced by Jason Doring, who is best known for his role as Logan Eccles on Veronica Mars, and has also been Joseph Costan in Moonlight, Alan Carpenter on Ringer, Detective Will Kinney on the originals, and Chase Graves on iZombie. He does a pretty decent job throughout the game, and I think he definitely improves when it comes to later appearances, but that's pretty much the case for most of the voice actors of our kind of primary trio. As Ventus, we've got the brilliant Jesse McCartney. Obviously, he originally voiced Roxas in Kingdom Hearts 2, and he received sort of mixed reviews on Roxas, but I think by the time he got to doing Ventus here and Roxas in Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, he had sort of nailed the voice, and he just killed it throughout this entire game. He's brilliant. Obviously, most people would also recognise Jesse McCartney from his music career, and for also being the voice of Theodore in the Alvin and the Chipmunks film franchise, and for being the voice of Robin/Nightwing in Young Justice. He's done a very good job for himself, and I think he's actually set to release his 6th studio album in 2018. So he really is doing well for himself. Hasn't done really much acting for a while, but
There we go.
I'm pretty certain that he will be back for Kingdom Hearts 3, because obviously Ventus and Roxas will be present in some form or another, so he kind of has to be. But I'm really excited for that because I think that Jesse McCartney does a brilliant job in this game. And then of our main trio, we have Aqua, who is voiced by Willa Holland, who is known for her roles as Caitlin Cooper-Nichol in The OC, Agnes Andrews in Gossip Girl, and Thea Queen/Speedy in Arrow. Now, Willa Holland does an okay job in this particular game, but I know that a lot of people had misgivings about some of her delivery, which I agree with, but I think it's one of those voices that you just have to get used to a little bit, and then once Willa Holland settled into the role a bit more, she also just knocks it out of the park. And when they brought her back for 0.2 Birth by Sleep Fragmentary Passage, I think she was just amazing in that, and I'm also excited to hear her voice work in the secret episode that appears at the end of the final mix version of Birth by Sleep, because while I know the story of it, I've not actually ever experienced that yet, so I'm very excited to experience that one. And then, last but not least, we have two giants of the sci-fi world.
There we go.
We have the late, great Leonard Nimoy as the voice of Master Xehanort, obviously most well known for being Spock in Star Trek, from a pilot in 1964 to his final film performance in 2013, so he was just amazing, and he just had one of those phenomenal voices that you just have to love.
Nice.
And it's also great because Birth by Sleep was, I think, initially intended to be his final performance ever.
No.
Which is insane that he chose a video game to be his final performance, but then that didn't end up being the case. He came back once again to voice Master Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. Although unfortunately he then passed away in 2015 before, Kingdom Hearts 3 could come out, so it'll be interesting to see how Kingdom Hearts 3 deals with Master Xehanort and all that, but we will see. The other giant of sci-fi is one Mark Hamill as the voice of Master Ericus, most well known for being Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. I love that they did get that duality in of one master is Star Wars, the other master is Star Trek, and just having those two enormous forces effectively going against each other is just really cool. Obviously Mark Hamill has also done a lot of voice work, most well known for being the voice of the Joker in Batman the Animated Series and many things afterwards. And he's just generally awesome as well. So I do have a lot of love for this voice cast. And then obviously all of the brilliant Disney voice actors that they got back to perform their characters throughout this game. It's just great, and
How you like this?
I do love it. And I think that on the whole, Birth by Sleep begins to mark. The franchise has always been pretty decent at getting decent voice performances out of its cast, but I think that they did do a very good job with Birth by Sleep here. But as you can see, I'm
That's the way.
a little bit worried right now, because Ventus has got enough to win, and it's one of those situations where you just go, oh no. Oh no 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 no. thankfully, a price cube and that checkpoint
There we go.
got me enough to win. So I will definitely take that.
Easy.
And with that, we will begin our journey properly by visiting the Enchanted Dominion.